Well, hello, 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 Megan Small. Hello,
Hello,
thanks for
Paula.
coming. Thanks very much for being here.
No, thank you for having me. Like, I love being here with you every Wednesday so far. It's been fun. And it seems like the audience likes it too, because I guess your video's been doing well when we're together, right?
Yeah, you're amazing. I mean, whenever you want me to come to your channel, I'd be more than happy. The people hate me, so I don't
No,
know if
no, what are you talking about? Nobody hates you. How are you doing? How are you doing? I heard
uh,
you got pulled into a little bit of drama the other day. Are you
yeah,
okay?
yeah, I'm okay. I have no,
Okay.
the funny thing is, I have no idea.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't know. I really don't go into other YouTubers. I
Yeah.
do watch, for example, some content whenever I have time because you're a working mom, right?
Yeah, of course.
I'm a mom. My son is grown up, but I work all the time. I'm a
Yeah.
farmer,
Yeah.
and contrary to what Harry thinks, I'm actually not that stupid.
Farmers are very
Farmers
hardworking people. I've dated a couple farmers and they are some of the hardest working people ever. It's not just hanging out in a barn all day, it's other things to be done too.
yeah,
People don't get it, right? Like they think you're
it's
just hanging
really
out.
hard. It is really hard work.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, my time, as I said, I have to be at the farm by 4 in the morning. Like so, I get up. And I have lupus, so I can't be there during the really sunny time. So this is why I
Yeah.
have to get up really early because you have to go every day. And then
Mhm.
I go back to the school because I have the school that I do. And then I have this actually sugar. What's the name of your school? I mean, like, do you want me to give you my home address too? Because I
Yeah.
got so much harassment. They try to shut down my channel, the Sussex Sugars. They started writing emails to schools that thought were mine. And then
Oh,
these
I
these
know.
others, yeah, these other schools, started sending me emails and stuff like that about why are we being attacked? Who is this Meghan Markle? And all these things.
Mhm.
And then they try to shut me down with YouTube, so I had to send the documentation to YouTube to prove that that it's real.
Yeah.
So this is why I stopped kind of showing stuff. But no, I was surprised because I started getting loads of comments, and I have certain words blocked in my
Mhm.
comment section, but I do check the preview because sometimes YouTube also blocks people. And then I started getting emails. You are a horrible person. You are this and that. This other YouTuber just did a live and she called you out. You're attacking. And I'm
Yeah, it
like,
was a slip of the tongue from the other person, right? Like
what?
she got her people wrong.
But what? But when they
That
walk it
drags you
back,
in.
they don't walk
Yeah.
it back and say, "Oh, Paula is great." Sorry, it's nothing like that. It was just, and people
Mhm.
are still attacking me. I'm still getting it. I
Oh,
lost a bunch of subscribers over that,
that's
and the hate mail,
terrible.
the death threats, that I got
Yeah,
over that, and so,
that's
but it's
horrible. I'm sorry you went through that. I'm sorry.
I'm used to it. I mean, it was worse from the
I know
person.
you got to have a bit of a backbone and a bit of a thick skin to be on YouTube, but still, it's not fun having to deal with that because I dealt with that when I had my own little situation earlier and I got bot swarmed for like a month straight. And I knew it was bots because it would happen at the exact same time and I'd get swarmed with like 500 comments, just horrible, disgusting, vile comments. And it was basically from gaming bot accounts that I've traced it all. And it was, yeah, I know who did it, but anyways, we're not talking about that.
Yeah, no, but the thing is
But you
that,
gotta have thick
we
skin,
have to
right?
build each other up. We have to build each other up.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I have to give it to the sugars, Sussex Sugars. They are all united. Whereas I find in the Mexican community, they form these cliques.
Yeah.
And if you're friends with this person, you can't be friends with this person because this person is telling the truth. My channel, I opened it because I saw something wrong with Meghan Markle in that situation and very many wrong things in the monarchy, not just with Meghan Markle.
Yeah.
You and I started speaking out. I never thought anybody would listen, but I was very shocked and surprised that people, attack you from, we're talking. I don't know if I really don't understand it, but hey, to each their own. But
Mhm.
how are you doing? How are you doing?
Oh, I'm totally good. I'm good. Besides being busy running around with my kid and stuff, I'm okay. I'm okay. I went and picked out a Halloween outfit for him. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah,
he's
you saw
4 years old. He's the same age as Archie, so I would expect any parent would be doing the Halloween stuff with their children, right? I
that.
mean, except for those two.
You know what's interesting? It's like, for example, all the royals that are parents, they do vacations, they do holidays with their children.
Yeah.
Harry and Meghan spent, I mean, this, I mean, how old is that supposed to be? Child called Lily,
Four.
2 years.
Archie, I mean, Elizabeth's two, and
Two. So this
artificial
girl
four.
has spent most of her life without her parents around because they travel a lot and they go without the kids anywhere. They
Hmm.
just go and, I mean, when they said that Megan says she's a mom first and
Yeah.
foremost, I think she's a mom to Harry because that's who she takes on holiday. Megan said, we
Yeah.
don't see that.
I wonder if she changes his diapers too at nighttime.
Ooh, ooh.
Well, she does baby him so much. I just wonder at this point, like, does she feed him too? Does she change his? Well, we know she doesn't do that kind of stuff. Probably the maids do, anyways. I feel sorry for their nannies and their work staff, man, to have to deal with those two.
Yeah. It's a terrible thing. And now Chris Jenner is inviting Meghan Markle to come and appear on a reality show. Are we really shocked about that?
I don't, to be honest, I don't really believe that. I don't believe that. I think Chris Jenner, she's a very smart businesswoman. I think she sees how every single company that gets involved with Meghan Markle ends up basically getting markled. Why would she get her brand mixed up with Meghan Markle, who's a sinking ship? Doesn't make sense, in my opinion, right? And Chris Jenner's I mean, she could do whatever she wants, but I don't believe that. I think that's just Megan's PR putting out BS stories and just trying to hype her up and just make her seem like people are interested in her. Because really, what has Megan done since she's left the royal family? Or what has she accomplished besides a failed podcast? I mean, flopcast, really, and whining about the royal family and crying about how hard her life is when it really isn't. I mean, she's really accomplished nothing. No one hangs around her. No celebrities want to touch her. Where are all the celebrities from her wedding? Where's Tyler Perry? Right? Where's Oprah? Nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, I actually talked about it today on my video. I don't know if you should listen a little bit about with that one because actually I thought it was a good video. I mean, for me, because it's NT, the guy from Crazy Nights,
Yeah.
Crazy Days and Nights, and actually he's basically saying what we've been saying, like, but the way he says it, because he had inside info and stuff like that. So let me see if I have this here because
Okay.
I want to. Oh yeah, wait, did you see this thing here? I'm going to show you this because you've seen this, Megan Small. Let me see that. Let me show you. Um, this is the video I posted today, guys. This is the blind item revealed. Did you see this?
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, the ginger-haired one looked into having his home be an official mission consul or a consulate, so he wouldn't have to pay property taxes on residence. Did you see that?
I saw that and I was thinking about that. And you know why Megan would love if that happened also? Don't
Hmm.
where I live, people that are members of the consulate have different colored license plates.
Yeah,
So
yeah, they do. They have yeah,
they're
you have
red.
CD. It's a CD diplomatic corps diplomatique
Yeah,
or
so it's a whole different. She would just, you know how much she would love to just ride around town and have different colored license plates that say consulate on it. She would love that. She would love if
yeah.
that happened. But that is like the American people have got to wake up and realize that at one point their money is going towards these two, and it shouldn't be. But as long as they're on, we constantly come back to this. As long as they're listed as working members in the royal family, they're still going to
Exactly.
get all of this access that them, as two private citizens, quote unquote, shouldn't be getting this kind of access. I mean, I have flown private before with friends, and I've never had US Customs and Border Protection show up on the tarmac for me. Never happened. We just walked to security. That was it.
And
Mhm.
also, actually, I don't know if you have any info on the kind of plane they flew in because from the looks of it, It looks like a military plane, to tell you the truth.
That's what I was wondering too, because of the front is gray, right?
Yeah, it's dark gray. It looks like a
Dark gray.
military. It looks like a
Yeah.
military plane. Siri, sorry about that.
Siri gets excited whenever we're on together, right? This
No, it's
is
somebody is coming. That's it. And she, Siri, shh,
it's
go
okay.
down. Mi amor, cochita linda, se está jodiendo. So, Siri. So sorry, guys.
It's okay.
So this is it's them, and
Yeah.
and I did my video. Oh, thank you very much, Kate. Note to oneself. Thanks for the super chat. The weird thing is like this dude here. Let me see if I can pinpoint this here. Where am I here? Here. This dude here or woman, I don't know. It looks like a professional bodyguard. Like
Mhm.
like it's
Like
not like
Secret
a
Service,
yeah, Secret Service.
Homeland Security.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking, because they definitely can't use that darker skinned fellow, because we've seen him a couple times now. We know he's from Homeland Security. So I honestly wouldn't be surprised that Prince Harry is getting top tier security still, because he is Prince Harry, and Prince Charles has him being protected to the full extent. I wouldn't put it past them for a second. And hi Paula and Mold. I know you meant Molly, but I just had to laugh at that.
Oh, we have Shawnee here who said the plane is RH1 owned by Restoration Hardware billionaire Gary Fieldman. The plane can be chartered. So they chartered a private plane, but they have why do they have the US border customs and borders protection? Why? They're already flying in private. You're landing and usually just walk through the thing.
Yeah, you just walk through security. You don't
I've
have
flown private
customs.
4 times
Yeah.
and it's never been there.
Yeah.
You know, I've never seen that ever. But it's really, really interesting, you know, that, and so people know how it works because I used to do this, guys, for a living. It's that whenever royals or travel, do you have VIPs? Usually, diplomats, we don't, unless you, not even the ambassador. I mean, the ambassador to the United States, they might in certain areas, but other ambassadors, they only have their drivers or even they drive themselves, you know.
Yeah.
They don't really have police protection. I mean, the U.S. ambassador in certain countries, they do, you know.
These two roll around like they're the Queen of England, like they're some sort of like high profile dignitaries from some country. Like these two are being still treated like they are king and queen of England. Like this is ridiculous. Hi RDT, hello. But yeah, like this is American taxpayers better believe that their money is going towards this.
Yeah.
There is no way that Americans aren't paying for this.
And the thing is that whenever royals travel abroad, this is why the royals have to be very sensitive. And this is why these visits are very planned in advance. For example, in Canada, when Harry and Meghan were in Canada, remember before they went to California,
Yeah.
remember the Canadians were sharing part of the
Security bill.
security cost. Yes. And this is why we did that petition to the Parliament,
Mhm.
UK Parliament, saying no effing way, stop that.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
this is what Trudeau was forced to say, we're no longer going to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
It's
so but
ridiculous.
this is what's happening. If they are getting security in the United States, it's a shared cost between the UK and the United States.
I honestly think that Charles is paying for their security. I think
Yeah.
that, yeah. I mean, like I said, if Charles is still paying for Andrew's security, you better believe he's still paying for Harry and Meghan's security. I wouldn't put it past them for a second. I know people don't like me saying it. I get a lot of hate when I say it, but it's the facts, though. Well, to me, in my opinion, I shouldn't say it's the facts because we don't know, but that's how it looks in my eyes. If Charles is willing to pay for Andrew $3 million, £3 million a year, allegedly, for security, and God knows why, because Andrew doesn't even leave the Windsor grounds estates, really, these days. So why does he need $3 million in security? So if Charles is willing to do that, then I believe then he's paying for Harry and Meghan. Because why else would they feel so free to just gallivant everywhere and just do what they want? they're not getting their hands struck down from the royal family. No one's saying anything to them. They're getting no repercussions for their actions. So it just makes them more bold to do whatever they want.
Yeah. And in this video that I was talking, because, and the thing is, this is my, for example, here, let me see if this is when she went on honeymoon with her first or second husband. What made Meghan Markle blush on her New Zealand honeymoon with first husband? You know that this is her writing because she wants to portray herself as this virgin that blushes. This is a woman who wouldn't know what a blush is other than what she puts on her cheeks, you know? This woman has no shame. How would she know how to blush? Because she makes up this story. So this is why I tell you that this story that was leaked, or the passerby who took that picture, which actually wasn't a recent picture of them somewhere, and the Antipodian embarrassment came during a dream holiday with her new film producer husband, Trevor Engelson. And this is where we go. The reason why I'm showing this, guys, is because my shock is how the press, this is the very same press. This thing here, this is when Meghan went on holiday for honeymoon with Trevor Engelson when she got married in 2011, 2012 to spend Christmas and New Year in New Zealand, and they rented a camper van. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that?
I do now.
You forgot?
I do since you refreshed. I watched your video before we came on live here, and I was like, I completely forgot about. There is so much BS that's constantly being shoved out by Meghan Markle that you can't keep track of all of her lies and previous stories, but I'm so glad that you brought this up in your video. Like, that was a really good video. I suggest you guys all go watch it. It was really good.
Because she says here that, and then and you know how this story about them that they just put out that, oh, they almost fell down and Meghan held his hand tenderly about Harry, right? Because she makes, I opened the shower curtain, and then he says he was just a little prankster because apparently a 13-year-old boy broke into the camper van and tried to steal her underwear. That's really the skankiest thing. And then she goes, I was startled, and he was just a little prankster. He was harmless, probably bored to tears with his family. And my comment is, maybe that's why she doesn't take her children along, because she gets bored to tears being with her kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then we move here, let me see, because then she goes, and in 2000, after she got married, because this is the thing, she says that before she was royal, Meghan Markle's campers van road trip through New Zealand. She said that, taking the advice of her Suits castmate, Gabriel Macht, I think that's how you pronounce his name, she decided to go on a camper van thing, right?
Yeah.
And then, but I mean,
so instead of telling the truth,
Meghan Markle had never camper van before. I was told to let go of my impression. This is in 2015, guys.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what do you make of this? Why isn't she?
The thing is, I think is that she doesn't want to tell the actual story where she's done it before with her ex-husband, so she revises the story to be more appealing to the audience, and instead plays it to her coworkers like, "Oh, I've never been, and a man told me and gave me the advice of go to New Zealand and do this. And since he told me, I decided to do it. And it was so much fun." But then do you see how she makes other people seem like they are less than her and beneath her, because she compares RV camping to like trailer parks, basically, because she's like, in America, they're not as nice as what they were and what the RV culture is in America, right? And she's trying to make it seem like RV culture is all about trailer parks and white trash and things like that, right? It's not like that. You have nice RV trailer parks. You can have the nice high-end ones, you can have the cheaper ones. You can go to trashy places, you can go to nicer places, but she always has to have a dig at something or someone just to make herself feel a little bit better or elevate herself.
I never had the camper van because that's beneath me. But then she has 2011, 2012 when she did it with her then husband. And then she puts, he was a producer, her husband, a Hollywood producer, because she is big on titles.
Of course. That's how you always know that her PR or it's her behind a story, because of the excessive use of words to explain everything and just descriptive words. It's just ridiculous. You always know it's her because it just gives it away.
And I mean, guys, if you haven't watched the video, I suggest you, I left the link. I suggest you go watch To Die for Daily with Kinsey Schofield, because this is the guy from Crazy Nights and Dates, or Days and Nights. And listen to this, because I was laughing. I was laughing my head. The whole thing is great, but I had to pick just a few. I talked to Kinsey and she gave me permission, So thank you, Kinsey Schofield. You're amazing, But then this is what happened.
Say, oh yeah, I heard this. You really didn't hear anything.
I would too.
Is that prior to Meghan being there, I think that anybody would say, oh yeah, I heard this. You really didn't hear anything, because the royal family, there was no gossip to be had, especially for, a Los Angeles-based gossip blogger.
Yeah.
But when Meghan Markle enters the picture, then it adds a whole bunch of other people that all of a sudden you can get some more information from, especially back then, when she was hanging out with Jessica Mulroney, and then Jessica had friends and stuff. And so then it becomes a little bit easier to get actual royal gossip. And, the trend has continued.
I mean, what do you make of that?
He's not off. I mean, we've been saying this from the very beginning, that when Meghan Markle joined the royal family, that's when gossip and leaks started happening. Even beforehand, before she joined the royal family, there were leaks going on. But it didn't really start until she got that ring on her finger and cemented her position and said, I do. Then that's when the whole dam was busted, right? That's when the whole Rose, all of a sudden William is having affairs and this one is doing this. I mean, it's just straight up Hollywood celebrity style trashy gossip, which isn't done in aristocratic circles or royal circles, right?
Well, even do you remember Shallon Lester said that?
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty obvious. Like, Paula, before, like, you and I have been following the royal family long before Meghan joined, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I've been following them way before even William and Catherine got married. That's how long I've been following them. But we didn't hear this kind of drama, right? Nothing.
You didn't hear these stupid articles. Oh, there were like this, and the flowers were here, and this and that. I mean,
and this one is jealous of this one because she's so great and doing the job so well, but she doesn't know how to cross her legs and needed to be told, right? This is what I could never understand. Meghan Markle claiming to be the greatest thing that ever happened in the royal family, but she needed to be told how to cross her legs or how to hold a utensil. She needed to be told how to sing the royal anthem or the British national anthem. But she's the greatest royal who ever royaled, and everyone was jealous of her. I always go to the clip in my mind where Meghan and Harry did their engagement interview. And Harry goes, no, I don't know who Meghan Markle is. Give me more information, right? And then now, fast forward, it goes into, the people on Botswana Air that have never probably heard of her were asking for her autograph. Kate and Catherine and William were just fans of her, and they loved her show on Suits. Like, are you kidding me? Like, you know who this is all coming from. But I just went on a rant there. I'm sorry.
No, but that's the way it is. No, please, you're here to rant. But listen to this little bit here. This is really funny. Listen to this one.
She was married to Trevor Engelson. She didn't say, oh, let me invite George Clooney.
Mm-hmm.
That the leak that's sinking his ship is standing right next to him. Isn't that something, guys?
Where if she had been on Suits, and when she was married to Trevor Engelson, she didn't say, oh, let me invite George Clooney to my wedding. She didn't know him when she married Harry, but she knew that I could send this out and these people are going to come. These people who would never take my phone calls before, all of a sudden they're going to take my phone calls because I'm with Prince Harry.
What do you think of that?
Well, what can I say about that? It's totally true. It's definitely true. I mean, even George Clooney said he didn't know Meghan Markle, and the only reason that he showed up to the royal wedding was because, well, how often do you get invited to a royal wedding? Those were his words.
Yeah, and also he knew Prince Charles at the time.
Did he know Prince Charles before?
Well, yeah. He was part of
Okay, I didn't know.
Those are very tight. Yeah, He's been to Prince Charles, a few foundations, the Princess Trust, and all kinds of things.
Okay, I didn't really follow George Clooney's connections to the royal that much, so I didn't think that he was really that connected. I thought it was more like him wanting to bring Amal in so that his wife could have a connection to them as well, because now she's involved with Prince Charles, right? In some trust.
No. He's been involved with Prince Charles and Amal too, and
Okay.
and also don't forget that Eugenie's husband used to work for Casamigos as brand ambassador to whatever it was that they called. So there was that connection there as well. But George Clooney has been involved with Prince Charles. This is why I thought he was there, because of Prince Charles and Amal also.
Yeah.
But it's absolutely quite shocking. And you have this thing here: 2 members of an activist group funded by Harry and Meghan's Archwell Foundation have been accused of posting anti-Israel rhetoric online, with one slamming the U.S. for being silent as Palestinians are murdered.
Girl, these people clearly don't do proper background checks into people. They don't have the staff or the competency to do the type of background checks, because you don't really, well, I can't say the same. That hasn't happened for the royal family before. They've had some issues too, but this is just them being sloppy in their work, just wanting to slap their names on whatever bandwagon they can jump on to get their names out there without doing the proper background checks. They really need better staff. Or maybe Meghan's telling them what to do. I don't know.
Yeah, but it is actually quite disturbing, because that she goes in on that stage and she calls him that one. And this is a really great one that you have. Harry complained about being Prince William's spare. I wonder how he feels being referred to as that one by a cable TV mattress actress who gave BJ's on to one. Bet he misses being the spare.
Don't you think? I think in that photo, he's really looking like, God, I miss my old life. I didn't have to do any of this.
And he's getting ready to go to Africa. And it's funny how he's always walking behind Meghan Markle. Have you noticed that?
Of course.
Have you noticed that? What do you think is going to happen? You know what I think is going to happen? He's going to do the Africa thing because he really doesn't care. I'm sure somebody's arranging something for him. I'm sure it's going to be another Netflix thing. And apparently Netflix is getting ready to let them go. But I think it's going to do this Africa thing. And whenever Meghan sees that it's picking up, or he's getting its kudos for him, she jumps in. Suddenly, Meghan is going to visit to support her.
She always does that. She always weasels herself in onto his projects, takes the center stage, she takes the limelight, makes it all about her. But then do you notice that when the projects fail, it turns into, it was Harry's project, right? It turns into, it was Prince Harry's failure. Like Archetypes, for instance. Archetypes was supposed to be Meghan and Harry's project, right? It ended up being just Meghan's project. And now that it's failed, every report that comes out calls it as Meghan and Harry's failure. I bet if the Archetypes podcast did well, then it would just be all Meghan's successful podcast. It wouldn't have Harry's name attached to it at all. But the fact that it was a failure, she has to attach his name. And I feel like that's also a way of her controlling him. Like showing him like, look, everything you do is a failure. You need me. You need me on your project so that they could be successful. Because when you do it, they fail. I mean, I think she blames all their failures on them anyways, because she could never be responsible for anything.
And I wanted to ask you something. Do you think, because I know that Harry, from what everybody used to say, Harry used to be obsessed. We both know that they're obsessed with social media.
Oh, of course.
Right? And do you remember there was one time when Harry said that he confronted Meghan about everything that was on the internet, and she said that they were all lies? He asked her if everything was true.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that? Do you guys remember that?
I remember that. And then remember on a scene in their Netflix special, they pull out the laptop and they show an old scene where Meghan has to choose between who she likes more, if it's Harry or William. And then she goes And then I think she picks, she's like, oh, I don't know who, I don't know. And then the girl whispers to her, oh, it should be Harry. And she says, okay, yeah, I like Harry. I should send you the link, the video for that. I have it on my phone somewhere, but I'll send it and you'll see it. But Megan, I'll tell you something, because I have friends that live in Toronto that know of her, that have hung out with her. Megan never liked redheads. That's the thing. Megan always hated gingers. That's what was always said. That was the big joke with Megan. And I got to say allegedly, just to cover my ass here. But Megan always thought that gingers were the ugliest people in ever. She didn't think that they were attractive. So the fact that she ended up with Harry is a big sign that she's only with him only for the money. She's not attracted to him. She doesn't care about him. Because realistically, when you look at every single photo of Harry and Meghan, she's not like looking at him like she's actually attracted to him. Like you see the way that Catherine looks at William, right? Oh, you're muted.
I would too. He's gorgeous.
Yeah, and he's only gotten better with age. I think it's the fact that he's shown that he's a stable family man. He can get over trauma. He can persevere in his life and move forward. Of course, that makes him more attractive. Any man that can give you stability in your life is an attractive man, right? Or am I just crazy here? There's not many men.
He's also gorgeous. I mean, his body, his height, the way he moves. That man knows how to walk, you know.
Girl, those two are competitive, right? So they keep each other looking good.
Yeah.
That's the thing. If I had a husband that was competitive like that, and plus being in front of the cameras all the time, I would want to make sure I'm in great shape also. Those two are very competitive. They're great for each other. They complement each other and they support each other in being great. It's great to watch.
And today's Mike Tyndall's birthday, by the way, guys.
Yes, it is.
You know, he's so funny. I love him, you know.
Hilarious.
Yeah, but the thing that I wanted to tell you, thank you very much, Gwen Mendez. Rachel is only attracted to herself and money. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in that interview with Kinsey Schofield and Auntie, they go that Meghan needs a billionaire now. And the whole point of my video was that Meghan hit the jackpot, because sometimes a brand is worth more than money. Because being able to get into the British royal family, that she could have made billions of dollars just being part of that brand. You know, that was more prestigious than a billionaire.
I agree.
There's billionaires everywhere. And Auntie says that in the thing that they've gone as far as they can together, because they've done Oprah. Harry has done the Despair. She's done Archetypes. She's done things that they do together. Invictus Failure. You know, it was Harry's, but she injected herself in that thing.
Yeah.
You know? And we all know how that turned out.
Mm-hmm.
The racism thing. I mean, the only reason, because she when she went to New York and got on that stage, wearing that same shirt that she wore at the parents' grief thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
She was. It's like they accepted an award for fighting institutional racism in the monarchy, and then Harry later went and denied that. Remember that?
Yeah, of course. Who could forget that? Tom, what's his name? That interviewed Harry for that, where he said that he never said it. Meghan never said it was institutional racism. What was that interview?
Tom Bradley.
Yeah, his face completely dropped. He was like, what? Like, even he was stunned. Yeah, girl, like, this picture, go up a little bit. This annoys me so much, this virtue signaling. Like, you're gotten off a big, expensive private jet. All Meghan does now, because since she's married to Harry, she can only fly on private. She can't fly first class anymore. It must be private jet only. And then you think you're doing something special by carrying around a $20 charity bag? I mean, really, you look like an idiot.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Like, I hate people. Like, I can't stand it. You would have just been better off carrying your usual handbag instead of virtue signaling.
Well, she was. Harry was there.
Good one. That was good.
Now, I want you to explain this, because meet Dee Poku, an entrepreneur who runs a private women's club for women in leadership. Because I actually thought she was a grieving parent. I did a
I
video.
thought so too.
And
That's
so
why I
tell
had
us
to bring
about
it
this.
up.
Tell us about this.
I had to bring that up too because I had thought that she was a grieving mother too, but then when I just went and did a simple Google search, I found out that she's actually a woman who started a company during the pandemic to basically it's a bunch of professional women that can join a private club to share leadership and empowerment like things together so they can thrive. It basically sounds like a women's circle where they can toot their own horn. That's what it sounds like to me, right? But I think, in my opinion, I think she was there just for the networking and to make more connections and to meet Megan and for Megan to use her for her connections and the fact that she's an actual Black woman. I think she's from Ghana or something, actually. Yeah.
Nigeria. Have you noticed how the
No.
Nigeria thing has gone silence?
No, I think she's from Ghana, I think. But yeah. So of course Megan's gonna latch on to her because, well, Megan can use her for clout. So then she posts this video. Deepoku's awesome. Yeah, I think so too. But
It's
she
this
posts
one,
this
right?
video, yeah, and it was like her analogy. She's like, Meghan Markle just shared
When
the
something is
best
invented, let's take the
analogy.
car, for example. When
Listen,
the car was first invented, there wasn't a seatbelt. You could
I really can't stand that. I really can't stand
Yeah.
it. Sorry, guys. I'm not gonna put you through that, guys. I mean, I'm not gonna do that. But that woman posted a TikTok about it. But I was, so this woman is basically another grifter who didn't have any
yeah.
laws or anything like that, right?
Yeah, basically. And then my favorite part of that video, since you're not playing it, was that Dee actually gave Megan away flirting. And I caught it at the very end. And I think
You see?
you can scroll down so you
How
don't
do
have to
we
listen to
fix
that
that?
whole thing.
Of course, our families and our children
going.
safe.
Right there. So I've clipped that. Okay. And if you go out of there and scroll down, right there. I've clipped that, and this clip has been circulating and people have been using it and things like that. But she is literally like trying to flirt with the US Surgeon General. And I guess this is going to be her tactic of getting her way into the White House or into some political position. She thinks that by touching a married man's arm and by flirting with him like a 12-year-old, that she can make moves. But little does she know that US Surgeon General is married to a very, very smart woman, and they have 2 children too. So I wonder how she feels seeing this tart completely trying to flirt with her husband and act like a total yacht girl. I wouldn't be too happy about that.
Yeah, but the thing is that he lent himself to be there.
Yeah, he did. He didn't have to endorse them. He didn't have to have anything to do with them. But it always comes right back to the same thing, right? If Harry and Meghan weren't listed as members of the royal family, then they wouldn't have these doors opened for them. You think
Well, mostly Harry, okay?
Yeah, it's the fact that she drags Harry around and she brings him along that she gets these doors opened for her.
By the way, this photo here, it's an old photo. So
Yeah.
you guys know. That's an old photo. The forecast, Meghan is at regular weight right before she got married. Not only that the forecast, if you go and look at the forecast that week for that island, was mostly clouded, because around this time of year in these areas, it rains a lot for some reason, and there's usually hurricane season.
Mm-hmm.
So why people avoid it. But if you go look at the website at the weather, you will see that it was mostly clouded.
Yeah.
So,
well, we know they play around with photos. We know that they release photos at different times and claim that it's recent. We know, like, these 2 are known liars. So they will and they're desperate at this point. So they are desperate to be in the news. So they will do anything that they can to get in the news. And if it means releasing old photos, then they'll release old photos. I mean, we saw in their Netflix special, they used other people's photos and tried to pass it off as theirs. They used old photos of Meghan of when she used to live in Toronto and tried to pass it off as recent and her cooking for Harry. Like there's that one photo they flash in the Netflix special where Meghan has her Toronto Blue Jays hat on. She's cooking in the kitchen. She has like, I think, a gray tank top, like a wife beater on, an undershirt. And they played in the Netflix special to make it seem like she was cooking for William and Catherine. Like that's what like they're constantly playing games, right? Nobody believes them. No one trusts them.
What do you think of the backlash of Dr. Gabor Mate?
I've always thought of him to be a hack anyways. He deserves all the backlash, and I feel that him coming out and saying that he knew it was a bad idea, that he didn't feel good about it, but he still went through with it, says a lot about who you are. And I would never trust you as a physician or as a psychologist because you didn't trust your gut. You knew it was something wrong, but you still went through with it. I wouldn't be a patient of yours because who knows what kind of advice you're giving to people, right? If you're sitting there and admitting that it was wrong, but yet you still went through with it, then I'm going to question your beliefs. I'm going to question your oath to the medical association, right?
And the worst thing of it all is that he doesn't regret doing the interview itself per se, because then he tries to say, well, Harry and I wanted to do it for free, but then the lawyers, no. They both sat down. They both decided how it was going to be. He had lawyers. Harry had lawyers. Harry dictated how it was going to be done. So they make it sound, it's like, so he has zero accountability, zero agency as per his words,
Yeah.
So it's both they decided to do that. And the only one who would have faced a lawsuit had he backed down would have been Gabor Mate.
Mm-hmm.
Because Harry would have sued his ass and say, hey, you agreed to do this way. If you back, and it's been advertised already, and if you back down, I'm going to sue your ass.
That's how Harry
The only thing that he regrets is all the backlash he got in the press. But he doesn't regret doing the interview.
No. He just regrets his backlash. That's it.
And he blames the British press.
Of course, even though the British press had nothing to do with it.
Yeah. And then he solidifies Harry's, the trauma. How would he know? He goes and says that Charles didn't hug Harry. It's like, how would you know when we already established that Harry has lied about everything?
Yeah. Yeah. He's a total quack. He's a total quack, in my opinion. Honestly, I think the government of BC or the federal government, was it the government of BC? They even put out a notice about him, about his beliefs and the way that he would run his practice and the way that he would counsel his patients. Yeah, so he's a bit loopy. I would never trust someone like that. No. He's one of those that would probably tell a patient like Harry, yeah, go do some ayahuasca and you'll be fine. It'll straighten out your brain. You'll be okay. Like, I don't trust unethical people like that.
No, what do you think is going to happen now for Harry and Meghan? What do you think? What are your predictions?
What's going to happen to Harry and Meghan? Well, Meghan's going to keep squeezing whatever she can out of Harry. I heard Omid Scobie's book is due to come out November 28th, I think.
Cool.
So Omid Scobie's new book. Yeah, Endgame, right? So we'll see what happens. Apparently, she keeps saying that she's going to relaunch the TIG. I think at this point, we should just get Elon to relaunch her to the moon on his next launches, right?
Yeah.
Ask him to stick them both on one of his stations and just launch them out there.
But what do you think is going to happen to her?
I really don't know. I don't know what's in her future. I can't.
Because she has really nothing going for her right now at the moment. What are her things? Nothing.
I think she'll probably end up like selling hardware on like the QVC on some shopping network like Fergie did at some points, because she can't write books. She's lazy. She clearly doesn't want to work or anything. She just expects to be put in high positions based on the fact that she's married to Harry, and she's basically crapped all over her brand. Everyone sees her for who she is. So what will she do? I mean, at this point, I really don't know, Paula. What do you think?
Well, I think we are going to see her align with the Kardashians. I think that having Doria there with the Kardashians was a taster to see how people react. I think that Chris is going to try it and see how it goes. And if it doesn't work, she's
Mhm.
going to back off, just like she backed off from Chrissy Teigen. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
You
Yeah.
know, because the thing with the Jenners and the Kardashians is that the Kardashian brand is on decline.
Hmm.
So they might think bringing on a little bit controversy, might do the trick.
What the hell would Megan? Could you imagine Kim and Megan in the same room? Those two would clash.
I mean, they're all narcissists,
They're all narcissists. They're all narcissists. But the thing is that I would think that the Kardashians would look at Megan like, oh, she's a social climber, right? Why would they want her
Well, so
around?
are they.
And
So are they. Let's not forget that.
they are, but they've climbed up into like multimillionaire status where Megan wants to be, right? They know that she is desperate to get to where they are. They know she's desperate. Like they're very smart business wise. I gotta say, as much as I don't like the Kardashians
Yeah.
business wise, they are very smart, and I gotta give that to them. I cannot fault them for that. Kris Jenner is a very smart businesswoman, but Megan is the type that she can't let anyone else have any control. She thinks that she knows more than anyone. So I think that will always be Megan's downfall from letting her succeed. Because if she could be a team player, she would have stuck it out in the royal family, and she would have had a better life now than where she is at the moment, right? Doors would be open for her. She wouldn't have to be struggling and hiring backgrid for tarmac shots from a private jet. Like, I don't know if WME is like trying to ruin their reputation on purpose, because this makes them look so bad. Why do you think having backgrid taking photos of you coming off a private jet constantly and being away from your kids is a good look for you?
Yeah, but the thing is, how would Bagrid know that they were landing there?
Well, she obviously called them and spoke to them and gave them the info.
I know, but that's that's
Yeah.
what I was getting.
Of course. I mean, if anyone did you watch the Johnny Depp trial at all, Paula?
Of course.
So remember when the guy from TMZ came and he testified about the whole process of how the photos make it to them and stuff? I basically applied that same logic to Backgrid and everything. So like the photo that appeared of them in the Caribbean that we're supposed to believe is recent, people are all saying, oh, well, how did they get this photo so quickly? The only way they could have gotten it quickly is if it came from Meghan herself. They said that if it was a verified photo from the person, then they could get it
Verified
out.
source, that if it came directly from the source, they publish it immediately. If not, they can wait for a few days until they have it
And there
verified.
you go. Like there's all the answers all the time. So whenever it's so funny watching the Sugars, because they were complaining, how does Daily Mail have these photos? How does Backgrid know they're harassing Meghan? They're invading her privacy. And it's like, no, idiots. She's the one that's calling them and letting them know what she's doing and where she's going.
And what people don't understand is that these pictures might not be recent.
No, definitely not. They're not recent.
It's like, for example, she get these pictures taken and then she published it because nobody's believing they went to the island. Then suddenly they released these pictures of them getting off a boat in Atlanta, getting off a private airplane in Atlanta of all places. So I guess they were not rushing back to get to their kids,
That's so wild, isn't it, Paula? Like, if I was, okay, I'm just looking at it from a parent's perspective, right? If I went to a seminar like that and I heard stories about how other parents lost their children to social media, I would want to get home like as quick as I could to be with my kids.
I mean, the thing is that you would want to take your kids to these places to like for me, when Henry was born, I would be so homesick missing him, especially when they're children. You want to show them these places. You want to hang around with them.
Yeah, and they're actually more fun to travel when they're small too, because there's not as much.
Because they have nannies and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, it would be so easy. I know. I've got a family who they're pretty well off. They've always traveled with their children since the day they were born with their nannies. Now, sometimes the mom and dad would sit up in first class, and then the nanny and the kids would be sitting elsewhere, right? but that's how they would do it. And clearly, Meghan and Harry have the funds, or someone's giving them the funds to travel on a private jet. There's tons of room on a private jet that your kids can be there. I mean, why not take your children? I mean, my 4-year-old loves airplanes.
My son
He
too.
loves
I mean, when he was a kid, he would get all freaked out. I mean, this goes to show the hypocrisy, but what really bothers me the most is the press not calling them out on it.
Yeah. It's like, you know what it is, Paula? I feel like people are too lazy to do their jobs, right? Especially journalists these days. I mean, how hard is it to do a quick Google search to see if Meghan Markle has done XYZ before? It's not that hard, but I feel like these days people are just so entitled and so lazy. They just run with whatever story they get instead of doing the recourse and actually finding out past information if she's done this before. I mean, Meghan's got a whole Rolodex of lies and stories. I'm sure you can find something in her past.
No, I know, but they don't bother, and they just go with
No.
this narrative, like the previous lies that she told very publicly don't
Yeah.
exist.
Yeah.
You know, it's like they go with that narrative instead of saying, "Wait a minute," but Meghan, I mean, that the video I did today, it's
Yeah.
a very basic thing, but it's just like, how come not one journalist? We don't have Neil Sean, we don't have Angela Levin, we don't have anybody from Daily Mail saying, "Wait a minute, you know, we're going to put these two articles here. Which one is true, Meghan?" They should have a section that's called "Which one is true, Meghan?"
Yeah.
I think that would be an interesting one, because then you put what she said in the past and what she's saying now, and they should have a section that says "Which one is true, Meghan?" Can
I
you
think
please
we should do a series called "Which One Is It, Meghan?"
no, for reals, you know?
Yeah. No, I think you would be good at that because you know a lot of the things too.
But I don't know, you know, it's just that whenever she's something and then I Google to see if that's true or anything in the past, it takes it takes the time for me to type it for the stories to come up.
Yeah, I get it. I
You
get
know,
it.
and I'm not a journalist. I'm not even very techie.
Girl, it's infuriating. The fact that sometimes it feels like some of these journalists are reading our tweets or they're watching our YouTube videos, and then you see our videos are made into articles or our tweets are in articles and there's a whole story around, and you're just like, what the hell? Like, what is going on here? But I feel like I don't know why the UK press puts up with her BS all the time. Like, they could easily destroy her.
It's not just the UK press. It's all the press all over the world. We don't see People magazine calling her out. We don't see any Vanity Fair. We don't see anybody calling them out.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. But I'm just trying to understand because remember when Fergie and Catherine, like, they got some horrific treatment from the press. Remember? Like, Fergie was called I think Fergie probably got it the worst with the things that she was called in the UK media, right? Fergie got it really bad. Catherine got it bad. But Meghan was always coddled. Like, they were good to her. They wrote glowing
Because
articles.
from the beginning, Harry issued that statement saying, "If you talk shit about my girlfriend, you're being racist."
So then they all just backed off and that was it?
Yep. Don't you remember that statement that
No,
he made very early
I
on?
remember that. I remember that ridiculous statement. I
That
remember
calling
that
her out
William
was being
also came out
racist?
with a statement afterwards and said that he condemns any abuse or harassment of Meghan, even
Because
though
it was racist, though. The
I don't-
racist
I
tones,
remember,
undertones,
yeah,
the
Harry
racist
used the
undertones.
racist card. Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
You know, so you couldn't call her out. Piers Morgan lost his job live on air just because he dares say, "I don't believe her. I think she's lying."
I remember that. That's ridiculous. Well, I got my entire channel monetized because I questioned her moon bumps.
Demonetized, you mean?
What did I say?
Monetized. By the way, guys, I left, if you want to support Meghan Small, I left on the video description, I left her PayPal account so you can donate, because right now her channel is not monetized at all, just because she's questioning the moon bumps and stuff like that. So let's support her. And, you know, I mean, it is incredible. So for people don't understand that there is a machine. And I mean, we have proof that Parliament writes to social media telling them who to demonetize and who to do this, because Russell Brand was demonetized completely. He still has his channel up, but he was demonetized. And they were reaching out to other platforms, all platforms, to demonetize them. Remember?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's wild, isn't it? I was on YouTube the other night trying to see which, like, I see videos of people abusing animals on YouTube, and they're still up. Like, there are videos that people post on YouTube that I have seen of them. They basically starve their animals, and then they put a camera so you can watch their animals like eat a massive amount. It's like mukbang, but for animals. And you can tell like these people are abusing their pets, and they're completely monetized. I mentioned that I'm going to do a test with moon bumps, and I get my entire channel monetized in less than 24 hours. So that tells me that not only did Megan fake her pregnancy, in my opinion, but she was never pregnant in the first place. Because why would you be so worried about me doing a test with moon bumps, right? The mere mention, I mean, Wally got her entire channel, everything destroyed because she didn't believe the kids were born of Megan's body.
But we
Right.
don't have any proof of that. The
We have no
signatures,
proof.
the doctors testifying that they witnessed Megan give birth.
Yeah.
We don't have that.
Yeah.
And her motherly instinct. I mean, she's been traveling away everywhere
Mhm.
without her kids.
Yeah. I want to tell you something. Hold on. I just got to walk away from my computer. Because I've been looking through Tom Bauer's Revenge again, right? And there was a line that was about the advice that Doria gave to Megan. Hold on. Let me just see.
Don't give the milk away for free. Something like
No,
that.
no, that's not it. It was basically, hold on. None of Doria's family was there. Basically, Doria told Megan that in order to become a famous movie star, she had to drink 2 gallons of water, get facials daily, I mean, often, and to do yoga. That was her life advice to Megan, or something like that. I'm just trying
About
to
having talent.
Yeah, about having talent in the first place.
I mean, you have a lot of actresses that they don't do yoga, probably don't drink water or anything, but you know what? They're talented.
Yeah, they definitely. Well, the thing is with other actors and actresses, they constantly work on their talent. Like when they're not doing movies, they're doing shows on the side, or they're doing Broadway shows, or they're doing off-Broadway shows, or they're doing drama clubs. Like, they're always doing something. Megan didn't do anything. What, a couple acting lessons in school, or like taking an acting.
University.
Well, that doesn't mean anything. You got to take actual, like, you got to keep working on your craft. This woman doesn't do any work. She's been showing us that she doesn't do any work. She's not the type that wants to put the work or effort in to get to where she wants to be. She just wants to be handed that top spot, right?
Look at Viola Davis. Beautiful
Yeah.
lady. I can guarantee you she doesn't do facial, she doesn't do yoga. I mean, when
she's
you're talented,
beautiful.
there's nothing they can do. Look at Monique. I mean, so many actresses, you know, that maybe are not attractive or anything, but they're so bloody talented. I mean, Meryl Streep, she wasn't good looking by any standard. She doesn't do yoga. And look at this woman, Glenn Close. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on.
I agree.
Oh. Well, I have to go, guys, because I have a doctor coming, because I have my dialysis done at home today. But Megan, let's go sign up at Megan's channel. I'm okay. I just have to get a little bit of dialysis done today. And then but if we're up for it, we can do it next Wednesday, if you're up for it.
I was actually going to ask your subscribers if they would like us doing a Wednesday live like this and making it a regular thing. If they like it, let us know, and Paula and I will do this.
I'll put a poll up. We can do it on your channel next week if you want, sweetie.
Girl, there's no point of doing anything on my channel because it's demonetized. Don't worry
Okay.
about it. I do my
Okay, so
single
we'll do it
lives.
in my channel. We'll do it in my channel. And on Friday, you know, we have the Royal Mess. So hopefully you'll find time to join us there with
Yeah.
a bunch of us.
My little one is usually home on Fridays. That's why. So it's a little bit harder. But if I can bribe grandma into doing it, let's get her some coffee.
You can pop by for 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
No big
It's
deal.
just
You know?
that I know that the Sugars listen to our stuff, and I don't want them to hear him in the background. I just like keeping him very protected, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyways, thanks for coming. I don't
lovely.
care what you do. Run to subscribe to her channel, please.
Thank you,
The
everyone.
PayPal donations are in my video description. And let's support Megan Small. Go to her Twitter account. Let's show her some love. And yeah, we'll do it next Wednesday.
Definitely. Yeah. Why not? Take
Thanks
care,
so
Paula.
much,
Thank
sweetie.
you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye. Yay.